Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's reflection. The 5th week in our Lenten journey. So there's only 2 weeks before Easter. I don't know about you, but time seems to stop for no man or woman. Anyway, I hope your journey is going well and all your preparations for the great festival of the church's calendar is going well. I used to have a therapist. He was a very good therapist. And when I was trying to sort out some of my stuff when I came back from England and I was living in Sydney, he used to love it when I said, I feel like I'm going into a hole, and he'd jump up and go there, go into the hole. I remember there was one particular day when I said, I feel like I'm in a crucible. He said, let's fantastic. And his whole point was that healing and a return to wholeness is not possible unless you're willing to enter the darkness or enter the metaphorical death of our emotional lives. I don't know what that means for you. Most people find it very scary and will avoid the darkness and or the reality of death at all costs. But it taught me a very valuable thing, that by equipping myself or not being so afraid of the darkness, not being so afraid of the things that I didn't know about myself really, once I was there in the bottom of the crucible or in the bottom of the hole, then I started to see the light that I wanted to travel towards. Then I recognized the ladder that I needed to start climbing my way out. This is a very old concept. I think in our modern age we've lost sight of some of this wrestling within our lives. And so this week I invite you to really go to those dark places of our lives, almost honor them, not dwell there, because I don't think that's what God wants from us, but to go there in order to allow God to meet us there. And it's in those places of vulnerability, it might not be darkness actually, those places of vulnerability when we're feeling fragile, that's actually where God meets us. And seems for me to summarize the phrase that John uses in his gospel this weekend around a grain of wheat, unless it is planted in the earth and dies, is still a grain of wheat. But if planted and dies, it actually bears a full head of grain. And so therefore, in this 5th week of Lent, John is reminding us that it's not good enough just to see Jesus or recognize him in a way, but it's to encounter him. Our relationship with God or Jesus does not mean that the darkness or death does not affect us. But it does say that when we trust, when we believe, when we take that step of faith, for that is what it is, we therefore promise or accept the promise that Jesus will lead us into God's light, into God's life, and into God's love.